So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen now that it looks like we're fully officially recording. And let's get started. Cool. Looks like we're ready. So this session is, oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. This session is titled WeVideo or Screencastify, why not both? And we will be talking about, well, that's not what I wanted either. Dang it. Share. The bit.ly is right here. It is bit.ly Lake, capital E-C-M-E-C-C, Ballew, B as in boy, A-L-L-E-W. So that's the bit.ly that you can find all of this information. You can also, if someone would be willing to drop that into the chat, that'd be super sweet while I continue to talk a little bit at you. But all of this is going to be specifics about Screencastify, how to use it on your Chrome, on your Chromebook or your computer. WeVideo, how you can use it with students or by yourself, and how you can use them both. And something just for Lake, E-C-M-E-C-C, is a bonus extra tool that I just started working with. Thank you, Tracy. A bonus extra tool that I've started working with that is also linked in the slide deck, which can be found right there. So this order of things will be as follows. We'll start with Screencastify. We'll talk to your, we'll demo quick, and I've got room for Q&A there if you have some Screencastify questions. Then a WeVideo where I'll walk through how to put it on either your laptop, Chromebook, or iPad. I'll demo some green screen tricks that are super easy. Question and answer at that point. The tool, I'll demo it super quick, question and answer, and then App Smash, where we slam them all together and see what we can do with them. All right, let's start with Screencastify. It is an extension that you can find on the web store. If you have up the slide deck right now, you can actually just click this. It is a live link that will bring you to the Chrome web store and link directly to Screencastify, so you can add it to your Chrome. It'll look like this right up here. You can see my, I should have made my cursor bigger. You can see it wiggling around there. Once that happens, it's going to bring up something similar to this. It's going to ask you to log in, sign in with your Google account, assuming it is your district's Google account, and assuming your district uses Google. You can sign in with that, and it will automatically save everything to your Google Drive. You can then also consider upgrading to Screencastify Unlimited. Right when we went into distance learning as a world in about March, they offered Screencastify for free. However, that ended on like June 31st. However, you can upgrade for a pretty affordable price for a full year if you're going to use it just for yourself. I'll talk about that in a moment. If you already have it, you can click on the upgrade, which will probably show up here if you haven't already done so. And then you could go to this link. It'll show educator discounts. And to get started, you can get Screencastify for $29. And that's going to last you a whole year and give you unlimited storage. Because if you just use the free version, you can only do a 5-minute limit video, which honestly is about as much attention as your students can probably pay. But it's, you know, if you want to make a longer video, you can do that if you upgrade. Otherwise, 5 minutes is about their limit anyway. If you do not have Screencastify, you can go log in, like we just talked about, and then click on the 3 lines. Some people call it the hamburger. I prefer to call it the pancake stack because, you know, Google has the waffle. This is the whatever. You can click on that and click show educator discounts, get started. And for $29, you can activate your license. Now, if you are going to play with your get Screencastify, there are all sorts of resources that Screencastify put out right around the time we went into distance learning as a nation. And these are all linked out right here. They're all live. This one kind of links to all of these, but you can see they give different ideas like best practice for educators in closed schools. That's like a video. How to master video with distance learning. This is also a video, or no, it's a PDF rather. But you get the idea. There's all sorts of these resources for Screencastify that you can use. Demo time. So here is how easy Screencastify is to use. Once you've installed it, it's going to give you an extension. You can decide which extensions are pinned. I usually have it pinned because I want to be able to record. It's going to bring up all your options. You can choose to record a browser tab, desktop, webcam only. I know of a lot of teachers who would use this when they were doing their read alouds to their students because, well, you know, once we went to distance learning, that was an important part of the social emotional learning, being able to connect with the students asynchronously and continue that book that you started at the beginning of the year, mid-year, and wanted to finish. Desktop will give you a chance to like narrate a screencast. And if you embed the web camera, you get you. So we're going to do this. We're going to do desktop so you can see all the things on my desktop if necessary. And you can click record. Then you're going to choose your entire screen. You could just choose application window. I always do entire screen in case I'm popping in and out of different applications. I set a super long recording time so I can get things organized. Do that, hide this, hide that. Hide that thing there. Okay, so like right now it's recording. And you can see me in the corner as I'm talking. I can move my stuff around. And it's going to capture everything that's on the screen, including anything like behind it. Or if you need to demonstrate something in Chrome and then you want to pop out and show something else on your desktop, you can do that. As soon as you're done, click here and click stop. As soon as you click stop, it's going to pop up this video. And you can see me in the corner as I'm talking. I can move my stuff around. And it's going to capture everything that's on the screen. So there it is. It just plopped it right here. You can see it's finished uploading to your Google Drive. You can share, you can publish it to YouTube. You can share to your Google Classroom, get an embed code, but something that is even cooler that they just added recently, you can send an email, you can generate a QR code, and it now has, I don't have it on this account, but it has Edpuzzle integration. You'll be able to share out to Edpuzzle. So if you're a district that uses Edpuzzle, you can record yourself, do your thing, and then export it to Edpuzzle and start editing it right there, adding questions, and just go straight from that. Again, there is another option that you have if you upgrade to the full version. You can go to this editor. It is a super duper watered down, very light version of an editor. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but you can do stuff with it. So for example, let's say this recording that I just did, hit play right about here, click here. Let's say you're recording a bunch of videos together. You don't want to see this part where I click and click stop. You can do that. Cut, pick it, delete it. Boom. Can't do too much else with it. You can't add like subtitles very easily. It only gives you a few options of where you put stuff. But once you've edited it, you can export it as an MP4 or export it to your drive. But that's just some of the stuff you can do with Screencastify. At this point, if you want to throw into the chat anything about Screencastify, go ahead. I will mention again, Screencastify was free. It no longer is. But you can use a free version that'll let you record up to 5-minute videos. It doesn't necessarily have the editor feature, but if you just want 5 minutes, it's not that bad of a screencasting option. Saves directly to your drive, and yeah, that's about it. 29 is not bad for a year. If there are no further questions, we're gonna keep on going. This is another live link right here that will lead you out to WeVideo, a blog for schools, offering support to schools affected by COVID-19. This is something as near as I can figure is still live, the last I heard. But WeVideo has a free version, but they are offering the full suite at a discounted price, or at least they were doing so at the beginning of lockdown. And I have a feeling now that school is potentially going back to hybrid, or in some states fully distance learning or fully online, they are going to continue to offer these deals to schools. And that is what WeVideo is. Now, I talked about Screencastify. It's a really watered down screencasting software where you can record and, you know, save directly to your Google Drive. WeVideo is much, much more, and it's all in your browser. None of it lives on your computer. So this is a great tool for students with Chromebooks, or 1-to-1 with iPads, or 1-to-12 with iPads, whatever, however your district runs things. The way it works out great with WeVideo is you can assign different projects, and we're gonna kind of go over those right now. So if you were a laptop or desktop user, or a Chromebook user, you would go to www.wevideo.com. Again, it's a live link right here. And you could click on the G. That's my watered down version of clicking Google. It was mostly because Google didn't fit the rest of the way here. But if you click on this G, you can log in with Google. If you're a Microsoft district, I believe you also have a Microsoft login as well. And you could log in with Facebook, it shows you, but I don't know any educator that would want to tie their work stuff to Facebook. Anyway, you would choose the account, your Google account. I recommend doing the school one because perhaps your district has set something up. Otherwise, they will verify that it is a school account by looking at the domain. And if so, it's a school account, you might get a better deal. There are going to be a number of announcements. You can just power through those. One of the things that was new-ish recently is the audio-only export. This is a great way for students to record a podcast. Then they can be less concerned about how they look on camera. Plus, exporting the audio is way faster. And you can choose your export options. But that's what the announcements usually talk about. Then, if you're an iPad user, you would find the WeVideo app and download it onto your iPad or iPhone device. I believe I'm not sure if they have an Android app yet, but the idea here is if you're using an iOS device, there is an app. You're gonna, for iPad users, you're gonna click on the hamburger or pancake stack and log in. You get a few more options here like Google, Facebook, or the M for Microsoft. At which point you're going to go into preferences, and my recommendation is turn them all on, especially product updates, because who doesn't love a good email or newsletter or special offer? But I mean, you can turn off whatever you want. You can adjust your settings as necessary. Then absolutely 100% allow access to your photos. This is a great way for students if they're doing reports with an iPad, going around taking photos, videos and stuff with the iPad. If it has access to it right away, it's going to be able to upload all the stuff from the iPad directly to the WeVideo cloud so that you can do the editing. And that's where the power of WeVideo really lives, is in its editing suite. So once you are there, you get a whole bunch of buttons. There are some buttons that I have that you probably won't have unless you get the class all by yourself. If your district provides it, you'll just have up to templates, but if you get it for yourself, you'll also have admin. But you would click on projects here, and then click on the plus button, and then you're gonna choose personal, collaborative, or shared. So we're gonna talk about those three different versions. Again, Screencastify, unless you use the beta version of Screencastify Submit, which is Screencastify's answer to Flipgrid that I won't even get into here. But with WeVideo, you have choices. So if you decide to do a personal project with WeVideo, what you can do is, well, click here where it says personal, and this is just what it says. It's going to be a personal project. You create the video, you're the one editing it, the only one who's going to see it is you. If you choose to share it, you can decide who's able to see it with the share settings, but otherwise it's just something that you are working on all by your lonesome. Collaborative, this is one that I see some educators choosing to do, and that is where you would allow other students to work on the same project. The bummer about this, and they haven't fully upgraded it yet, though there is talk that it is coming. The idea here is you would be able to create a project and assign it to multiple students, and they would then be able to edit that same project at the same time. The problem is right now, unlike Google Docs, where you're used to seeing cursors and everyone typing all at once, you can only one student can be on the video edit at a time. You can leave each other notes, but generally speaking, until one student logs out, the other one can't log in. So it's a bit of a challenge to try to use this as a collaborative project. And then this one I think is really exciting for education, because you would be able to create a shared one. And then, as I'm going to show you in projects, you can choose what media that you assign out. So you could have a whole bunch of digital assets and then have them put the video together. So it would be each person getting essentially their own copy of the digital assets, and then they choose how they edit it together. And you can really see the creativity that some students can present and test their knowledge, see if they put things in the right order, or you can decide how you do that. But that's a really great opportunity for being able to earmark the specific videos or pictures or audio clips that you want them to use, and then they're responsible for editing it together. Okay, so let's say you get it. Now what? For a lot of people, the first time they log in, this is intimidating. So let's just go over the essential tools. Like right here, we're going to talk about this toolbar. Here, the SAR is your essentials library. You've decided is like the best that you can do a lot of this searching. Oh, I see. Sorry, I have another machine going over here, and I can see the chat. Marlena said students get frustrated with the collaborative version. I bet. Not being able to work on it at the same time. We're so used to those Google tools with synchronous work, but it has to be, okay, I'm done, now it's your turn. That's got to be super frustrating. Okay, so the essentials are where you can find pre-made videos, backgrounds, and audio clips, perfect to use with green screen tech. I'll do a quick demo of that here in a minute. Then the media, that's this one. You can upload and or record any media, photos, video, audio to use. You can upload any screenshots or social sites, see images below. The bummer, or at least I haven't been able to get this to work very well with my Mac or my PC, is being able to just drag and drop. So you're going to have to use like the plus button and the import, either upload from computer or whatever. The text is where you can choose to do overlay for graphics. You can, this shows that they show up in the middle, but you can shift where that lives and drag it down so it's either a closed captioning or a title. And the way you layer it will be graphics written across the screen, or you can have it just pop up and be a title card. But this is where you would include overlays to graphics. Audio, this is where you can choose from the free music. So again, if you get the full version, you get a gigantic library of, it says free music or sound effects. This is the same with the video clips. They're all copyright free use. The idea here is if you were to create something and load it to YouTube, you're not going to get flagged. That's the main thing. You're not going to get a copyright violation from YouTube if you use the stuff here. I can't say that all the time about iMovie. There have been a number of times I've seen stuff get flagged that was created in iMovie, even using the free audio clips that are included with iMovie. But you could also include, like, upload music from your own computer if you wanted to. Transitions, this is where you can have things dissolve and fade in and fade out, or do that fancy star white that's in every Star Wars movie. That's where you can find the transitions. And graphics. You can choose from a variety of graphics to use as background, layer for text. There's all sorts of really flashy ones that are super fun that you can just plop into place. Now, this again is the thing that a lot of people get anxiety about. If you've not worked with many video editors in the past, this is a lot, all right? But this is where you find the track. And I'll talk about different ways to be either in this version, which is called timeline, or you can be in storyboard when I demonstrate. Okay, green screen tech. A lot of places where they go all hardcore with green screen. Me personally, I just use this. Any solid background will work. It's always called green screen, but it's really just color keying. So whatever color you choose to use, as long as someone isn't necessarily wearing it, doesn't matter. Most people don't have this color green on them. So I typically will go to the dollar store and get one of these. If I were to actually hang it on the wall here, I'd probably get two, only because with my ring light and the natural light and my overhead light, because you want pretty good lighting, the brick wall bleeds through. So I'll usually do 2 layers, but we're not going to get that fancy. I'm just going to use 1. And then the way you would layer it for green screen is, I think of video 1, 2, 3 is the further back is the lower the number. So the background is going to be video 1. That's what you want in the background. Video 2 is going to be you or the children or whatever dancing around or doing whatever in front of the tablecloth. And then video 3 is where you would potentially put any text overlay or anything like that to add a little zhuzh to it. All right, so 1, 2, and 3 is where you would put your videos, or as far as tracks go. So, and then once you do that, you would click on this, double click on the green screen image, which again, you're going to want is video 2. And then when you double click it, it's going to bring up this. It's probably going to be on this one. You're going to want to reach over to here, click on that, click on this, and then use the dropper and basically put the dropper on somewhere in this green background and like double click it. And then it's going to just erase it. If you've ever used the app on iPad or iPhone called Do Ink, I prefer to call it Doink because that's just how I see it written. Anyway, if you use Do Ink, it does the same thing, but this is just a little fancier version, in my opinion. And plus, it's easier for me to work on this than it is to work on an iPad with Doink. All right, and then when you're finished, you're going to click, well, the Finish button. When you click the Finish button, it's going to let you choose video or audio. Again, like I mentioned near the beginning of the WeVideo portion of this, you would click audio only if you want to export it as a podcast. And these destinations, I have them all shown right here, mostly because I have access to the admin console and I turned them all on. If your district is controlling this part, they will determine where you can export. And if you're in as a student, you don't have very many options. So you can export to YouTube, Dropbox, Drive, Microsoft's Cloud, and more often than not, WeVideo is like automatically clicked. All right, some WeVideo ideas to use. If you give WeVideo for your school, you can use it for the school news and morning announcements. In fact, that's what this was. This was one of my things. It was their morning announcement. They were talking about potential snow. You can do it as a getting to know you. You can assign it to the students to create their own getting to know you. And lickety split, they can just import a bunch of their pictures off their camera roll, or their parents can, saying, oh, this is me when I was little. And they can line the pictures up and just do a voiceover over it, under it, rather. Informational reports. This would be a great way for students to demonstrate their content knowledge by creating breaking news or some sort of informational report. Stuck in a snow globe is a fun one. Have them act in front of a green screen, and then when they do that, there is an overlay, or a background rather, that makes it look like they're in a snow globe. That's kind of fun. Flipped instruction, modeling an activity or experimenting. You can record all your teacher routines at the beginning. This is probably going to be important for hybrid if that's what your district ends up doing. A fun way for students to do book reports. They could do it as kind of a coming soon or coming attractions sort of thing, talking about their book. Persuasive or how-to writing commercials, photo montages, sets of music. Whatever you think of, video is a really fun way for students to demonstrate their knowledge. Some important WeVideo resources are, this is the main one, and then these here, these sub ones, can all be found right there. The WeVideo Academy is basically where I learned all of my WeVideo skills. I didn't have any training. I just kind of did the bull in a china shop method. I not downloaded it. I went to the site and just wandered around until I figured stuff out. But WeVideo is not just for education. They are trying to branch out to a lot of other things. However, there is a whole section on WeVideo education onboarding for teachers, WeVideo for education, basic account setup, Google domain sync. That's more for your admin, but it is kind of nice. Anyone that's in your Google domain will, if you set it up right, will automatically sync with WeVideo as a user. Classroom management, intro to media, intro to projects, all those things can be found specifically linked here. And then this one, this is a book that you can get. A lot of the ideas that I came up with that I mentioned are in this book. I would recommend the Kindle version. I don't think I paid this much for when it was in its first printing. And I don't think you should either. It has some great ideas, but it's not $25 worth. Anyway, and then here's a list of keyboard shortcuts. I'm more of a mouse trackpad person, but if you're one of those keyboard power users, this is where you'd find the shortcuts. So let's do a demonstration. And I'm going to show you green screen stuff. So let's log in with my Google. Ooh, would I recommend it? Well, I'm doing that right now. Okay, so let's go to projects. Let's create a new one. Let's title it Lake ECMECC 2020. Have it be a personal project. Next. You can import video or media if you want to. I'm not gonna. But this is stuff that has already been imported, that's already existing in my WeVideo cloud. Got the videos on YouTube and the website. Cool. Thank you for those answering in the chat. So all of these things are stuff I've already imported to WeVideo in the past. So I could choose to add it to this project. I'm not going to. Project is created. So let's create video. All right, so one of the nice things is they give you templates as well. So you can choose, if you want to do a graduation announcement, award ceremony, mini lesson, you can see them all here. We're gonna go with blank. I get it. Okay, so like I said before, this, for a lot of people, is kind of intimidating. If you are going to just do direct-to-camera narration, record, audio, whatever, I recommend just going in here, the pancake stack, and going to switch to storyboard. You can record 2 full straight hours, so you could just come here, click record, do a webcam recording. Oh, why is it always on my snap camera? All right, and then just record straight to camera. You could do up to 2 hours if you wanted. I don't know any student who'd survive that, but let's say you choose to do that. And it's just gonna plop it right in there. It'll show up here. You just drag it into there. Does that make sense? We're not gonna do that though. We're gonna do some fancy green screening. So here's how we're gonna do it. First, I'm gonna prepare my fancy green screen. Ta-da! Green screen is ready. Now we're going to go to record. We're going to go to webcam. Click next. Again, defaults to snap camera. I don't get it. All right, so we're going to start recording. Now I have a green screen. Chances are you'd probably want to hang it on the wall, but this works too. So now you can see the green screen. Yep, you're going to want to make sure that you're properly lit. You can see there's a bit of a shadow there, which, you know, that might affect things, but we'll find out in a moment. So green screen, the magic of green screen. All right, click stop and save. Okay, it plopped it into video 1. If we're going to green screen this, we don't want it there. So you grab it, move it up. That's simple. Then we decide what we want in the background. So let's go to click stock media. And here's what I want you to do. Can someone come off mute and just shout out a word? We're going to pretend it's an improv game. Shout out a word. Give me something. Anyone?
Popcorn.
Oh, I heard popcorn. What was the other one?
Butterfly.
Okay, we're going to do both. So let's do popcorn. Ooh, fun. Okay, that's 27 seconds of popcorn. That's a bit excessive, but that can be adjusted. And the other one was butterfly. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, here's one of the things that irks me a little bit about WeVideo, and I'm going to show you right now. This is 22 seconds. We don't want this to all be popcorn in the background. So I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to shorten it. Did you notice when I shortened it, this didn't move? If you want them butted up against each other, if you shorten one thing, you're going to have to go down the timeline and shorten each one. So it's a bit of a pain if you are doing, like, let's say you're putting a bunch of pictures together in a slideshow and you happen to want one picture to happen on one word that's happening over here, or like with a narration. So you shorten up the length of time that one of the pictures is, then you got to shift each one of them over. But whatever. So here we go. Let's green screen it. Let me just show you what I did because that happened kind of fast. All right. I clicked on this one. I double clicked, and then this pops up here. When this pops up here, you're going to come over to this guy. And then it's called color keying. So you're going to click on the eyedropper, bring it over here, just click the background, boom. Oops, that's terrible. All right, well, let's save changes and let's just see how it ends up working out. And let's hit play, see what happens. Now I have a green screen. Chances are you'd probably want to hang it on the wall, but this works too. So now you can see the green screen. Oh, that's terrible. Yep. You're going to want to make sure that you're properly lit. You can see there's a bit of a shadow. If that doesn't work out and you don't like the way it looks, because wow, I really don't. Let's go ahead and do this again and try that. See what happens there. That looks weird. Okay, so I just color keyed myself out. Let's try it again. Okay, color keyed myself out. Now I can't see myself. Oh no, what can we do? Undo. So someone says color sensitivity might help. Not sure what that is, but let's do this again. Let's go to the dropper. Let's try that. Save changes. Okay, yeah, that's not great at all. Let's try the dropper again. Anyway, you can see how this would work if I had way better lighting in here right now. So
now I have a green screen. Chances are you'd probably want to hang it on the wall.
Anyway, this is how you would do green screen. I probably want to, in the color key. Color sensitivity, it's all the way up. Let's turn it down, see what happens there.
Now I have a green screen. Chances are you'd probably want to hang it on the wall.
It's a little better.
This works too. So now you can see the green screen.
Color sensitivity, color balance. What happens if I, ooh, oh. Anyway, you get the idea of how this would work. I probably should have used 2 tablecloths, but anyway, this is how you would do it. And when you decide you're done, all you would do is come over here and click finish. We're going to give it a title. That didn't work. Then it's going to bring up all these options. I typically leave this one on. This is the WeVideo one, and that is because WeVideo is its own video platform. And so it is kind of its own little walled garden. It's not as searchable as YouTube. So if you're doing this with students, chances are be posted right there. And for students, this is going to automatically be turned off for export as public. But you would do that, you would click export, and then as it is getting ready to go, it will take a little while for it to process and be ready to share. But once that happens, you can share it out with a link, or you can share it via email or embed code. You have a lot of options there. Okay, that's going to happen there. Let's pop over here. Are there any questions? You can throw them into the chat, or just go ahead and come off mute if you like. Cool. I wanted to get to this. I've been presenting on WeVideo and Screencastify a few times now, which is why I should have known to use thicker tablecloth. But there's something I started working with recently that is like Screencastify, but a little bit better. Loom. I don't know if you've heard of Loom. If you haven't, I'm going to share it with you. If you have heard of Loom, this will be old news to you. But Loom is like a Screencastify, but free for educators always. So to find Loom, you would go to the Chrome web store and type in Loom. You will find Loom for Chrome. You would add it to Chrome and then log in with your teacher account. Again, if you have access to the slides, this right here will link you directly to it. So you can just click here, and this will verify your account. Because as it says here, Loom Pro is now 100% free for verified students and teachers as of March 12th. Loom Pro is free and changes to blah, 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 blah. This is a permanent change moving forward. So this isn't like you had to do it March 12th. Anytime you want Loom, it's free. Boom. As long as you can prove you're a teacher, which again, when you log in, you're going to want to use your domain, your teacher domain, if you've got it. And that's going to be free. And then it's going to put one of these up here in the corner. So let's demonstrate it. Right here in my Chrome add-ons, I've got a Loom. When I click on it, what it's going to do is bring this up. Looks very similar to Screencastify, no? We could do screen only. We could do cam only. We could do screen and cam. Here's what's fun about this. It's a circle, and you can decide how big it is. With Screencastify, you could also make your circle bigger or smaller if you wanted to, but this is good enough. I usually, no, Nope, not there. Set it up, start recording. Let's try it now. My entire screen. Here's Loom. Usually I wait a little bit before I start talking because I want to be able to turn that off. Nope, that's not what I want. Where is it? 3 buttons, hide menu. Okay, and then if I've been moving around, once I get in the bottom third, this always pops up. I wait for that to all calm down. Then I would start talking, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Here's the thing, kids, don't forget to also remember, and then there's this thing, blah, 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 blah. As soon as I'm done, come up to Loom. And as soon as that happens, boom, done. And you don't have to hit stop. You just click on it, and then you're going. Then it gives you an automatic title. If you're presenting over a slide deck, it just automatically gives you this. I can send it with my copy link here. You can choose to have link sharing, privacy, add password. I can move it to a folder. And here's where things get a little better. You can edit here much more easily. You can do every time, by the way, every time. That's Cora the Corgi on Instagram if you want to give her a follow. But I don't think I've presented once since we went into distance learning that she hasn't interrupted. Anyway, you have more sharing options, more editing options, help center, blah, blah, blah. All these things are available with Loom. And again, can't beat the price. As long as you can prove you are an educator, you get it free. Wow, it's still queuing, huh? Well, let's go to my exports, show you what that would look like. So this is the dog you just heard. Once it finishes, this is what it would look like on your screen. You can choose the privacy setting. Right now it's public. Would you like to make this private? Nope, we're going to leave it as is. If you're linked to Google, I could click on Google Classroom, and then this is my trainer account. So these are the only ones I have right here. But I could choose to add it to the class. Let's add it to Interband. Choose action. We're going to call it an assignment. Title, watch this, sign, and then it's just automatically assigned in the Google Classroom. Here you can change the thumbnail. Like Cora looks pretty cute right there, but you can change that if you want. Add to gallery, download. The reason I was showing Loom was I was trying to give this a chance to download, but since it didn't, we're going to talk about this. Okay, back over here, Q&A time. I'm noticing in the chat, I have kids do at least once a year, starting with 8th grade. They figure it out without me explaining it. Absolutely. A lot of the schools, because I go to 10 elementary schools, one of my elementary schools has been using it with 5th grade, and they basically went, go to WeVideo. That was it. They had them log in and just turned them loose, and they had a blast. Few kids who become experts. Yep. And everyone else. In fact, when we went to distance learning as a beginning band teacher, what I did was I had the students record themselves, and they could record it on Seesaw, but I had a few of them at that school turn it into a full video production with WeVideo, like with interstitials and stuff like that. What should have been a 30-second video of them playing, you know, Let's Go Band turned into a whole production, but it was pretty cute. And I see Marlena does it for book trailers, how-to videos. Cool. All right, this is where I would show app smashing. In my district, we decided that the LMS for kindergarten through 5th grade would be Seesaw. As such, the frustration was a lot of the classroom teachers wanted to continue the book that they were doing for read-alouds, but Seesaw stops you at 5 minutes. You can't go any further. So this was created for them. It was explaining how to use WeVideo, which our district pays for, to record a video. So I showed them how to record a video in WeVideo that was longer than 5 minutes and upload it to Seesaw, and I recorded the whole thing with Screencastify. So if you have both of them together, it's a really a great way to demonstrate how to use Screencastify while recording in WeVideo, or recording in WeVideo to record how to do Screencastify. You can record in Screencastify, which is usually how I do it, because it's just really quick. Like I want to do a quick demo to camera, bada boom, bada bing, then edit it in WeVideo, or you can record. You see all the permutations there. It's just a factorial set. But the idea here is you can do all the things and combine them in various ways. Also, I'm going to just throw this out there. I was accepted into the Google Innovator Program for New York City 2019, and my project is all about cultural representation. My goal is to have a database of places that teachers can look to find the tools necessary for them to represent the cultures that are in front of them. If you have the slide deck, you can click on this. It's going to lead you to a Google form that has 3 questions. That's all I want. If you can answer it, that would be super fantastic. And this is my thank you. So are there any questions from the folks in the chat? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. Anyone have anything? I'm going to stop presenting. And if you want to turn on your camera or turn off your mic or turn on your mic and ask something, please do. Or if you want to go, I'm okay with that too. I will not be offended.
Thank you so much. I have to run to another one that I'm helping with. But that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, y'all, for having me. This was fun. And thank you for coming.